Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
Good evening. This is Akeem Holmes from Home Team Sports TV, broadcasting live from Jefferson High School, where we have the Jefferson High School Cougars facing off versus county rival Washington Patriots. Today's title sponsor is Neil Powell at Down Home Insurance. Stay in the game with Neil at 202-431-6896. Our halftime sponsor is Shelton Tree Services. Player of the game sponsor is Cheryl Yates of ERA Realty. We have a host of new sponsors: Sundays Tanning, Key Property Management, VFW Post 3522, HG's Barbecue and Soul Food Catering, Integrity Home Mortgage, Chris Page at Quality Lawn Care, L&L's Handyman Services, Money Mar Training, Catro Law, Cheryl Yates of ERA Liberty Realty, Shelton's Tree Services, Our Handyman, and B Attitudes Hair and Beauty Supply. So today, we actually had the conclusion of the middle school season, where we had the undefeated Harpers Ferry Tigers go up against the Wildwood Mustangs, and we are joined live by star running back Kyrie Brooks. Kyrie, you're up here because you had an amazing season, over 700 yards rushing and 11 touchdowns as an 8th grader. How did it feel this year to be able to get that chance to be the lead back and show everybody who Kyrie Brooks is as a player?
It was good. I just wish we won the championship, though.
Okay. In the championship game, obviously it was a nip and tuck game the whole game. It was close. Both games that you guys played against Wildwood were very closely contested games. What is something that you learned from both games that will help propel your career at the next level?
We just couldn't doubt them. We went into the second game doubting them, and they just came back and beat us.
So when you say doubt, what do you mean by that? Clarify that.
We just all thought we were going to win, but we came short and lost.
Well, that's how you're supposed to feel. You're supposed to always feel like you're gonna win. And getting to play with your twin brother, how much do you value that experience to be able to go out there and both of you guys are playing well, go home with your mom, Kelly? I know Kelly. I went to school with Kelly. I know she was hyped. How did this year impact your love of the game?
It was really fun. We had our best times together.
Was it Harpers Ferry's first undefeated season this year?
I think so, yeah.
So, going forward, what do you plan to do going forward, Kyrie, that will actually set you up for actually greater success at the next level?
I'm just going to keep working hard, get in the gym, and yeah.
I see you in the gym. When I see you in your pants, I was like, this kid looks like a grown man right now. How much you lifted?
I don't know. I don't really keep track. Sometimes I do, but it just keeps going up every time.
Do you work out with your brother, your older brother?
Sometimes.
All right. Well, Kyrie, I really appreciate you joining us on this broadcast. I have your brother as well, Kenyon Brooks. Appreciate you, young man, and good luck going forward. How you doing, young man?
Good, how are you?
Doing very well. Kenyon Brooks, star quarterback for Harpers Ferry. Definitely was impressed watching you play. My dad said you were an amazing athlete. Last game, you played very hard. You did very well guarding Corey Yates, especially in that first half. No, this year I asked your brother, how important and how much fun did you have being able to start with your brother on
Well,
the same football team?
I like playing with my brothers. My older brother's in high school. Probably gonna play with him next year.
Okay, does he play for Washington this year?
He didn't play this year.
He's gonna play next year.
Yeah, he's gonna play next year.
All right, that's beautiful, man. I know that's something that you guys are probably super excited about to be able to have all three Brooks brothers together. What grade is your brother in?
He's in 10th.
Okay, so you guys will have multiple years playing with each
Yeah.
other. Okay, so the main thing I really want to talk to you about, first I just want to say that you had a very impressive season. You played very well. I liked your composure. I liked your attitude and the flair that you had. And we're going to talk about the season, not just the last few games, but the whole season in totality. What was your favorite memory of this year?
Probably this year with my friends. Well, we all work together and stuff. Seeing my friends playing with the team, working together, acting like a actually team. Just being with them, they're like family.
Yeah, and having an amazing coach like Banjo, you had to learn a lot this year. What's the main thing that you learned from Coach Benjamin? He's definitely one of the legends.
He
of
taught
West
me.
Virginia.
He taught me a lot of stuff. I played for him for 3 years. The first year, I got bullied 6th grade year. He taught me the pads, they protect you, because I used to be scared, scrawny. He taught me to head up, shoulder down, just follow through what I do.
You be in the gym with your brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, with the buddies.
I feel you. I feel you. And Frank, not having him in that game definitely was tough. I kind of like them not having Bray that first game. Do you ever think about over the last week, what it would be like having both teams at full strength and seeing who would win that game?
I think it would be a really good game. We had to switch up our defense a little bit. We worked it out, though. At the end of the day, it was still a good game.
Yeah, it was. It was. So, going forward, obviously, on the Washington, our offense is kind of similar to how, what you guys ran this year. Do you see yourself, playing quarterback, or do you want to transition to maybe some other positions to show off your athleticism?
Well, I don't even know what I want to play. It's whatever I be. It's wherever they put me.
Yeah.
Wherever they think I should be.
And see, that's what I admire about you. You guys are you can just tell that you're just coachable kids. And your mom has done a very good job raising you guys. But Kenny and I definitely appreciate you coming here, allowing yourself to be broadcasted. And I just wanted the community just to know, how impressed I was with you guys. I wanted you guys to be able to get that experience of public speaking, because that's going to be very important in your future, regardless if you play sports or if you, just going to be a businessman making money. All right. Well, God bless you, young man. Go enjoy the rest of the game.
All right, thank you.
We're next joined by Jaheim, player of the game of Game 2 for the Wildwood Mustangs. Jaheim, that game, had 4 touchdowns and an interception. Ja, we do apologize that we weren't able to interview you after that last game. So what I want to say, Ja, is you definitely had an impressive season. I watched the games over and I broke down your stats. You reminded me a little bit of Debo, where you had the rushing yards and you had the receiving yards. Going forward, where do you see yourself? Do you like being a receiver more or running back more?
I like being a wide receiver.
You
like catching the ball, running routes.
Yeah. My dad was very impressed with you. He always talked about your toughness, how tough you are, how you always seem to make the big play and to be in the right spots. Do you pride yourself in studying the game, or is that just more instincts that get you?
It's both. I go home, watch football highlights all the time, NFL highlights all the time.
Okay. And that's amazing. And you always have to be a student of the game. So, just like I asked the Brooks brothers, what is your favorite memory about this season?
I don't know. Just being around my teammates, having fun.
Yeah, I heard you guys are a little bit of a wild group.
Yeah.
But and we actually got to cover them when we went to Morgantown. We actually got a documentary coming for Wildwood and David Vines last season. So I know that championship game was a flurry of emotion. And when I watched the game, my favorite moment was after the touchdown pass and you guys took the lead, you put your hand on your head like you couldn't believe like really what happened. What was going through your mind at that time?
I was just disappointed that I let him down.
You didn't let
I felt like I let him down, but I knew I was going to bounce back.
Yeah, and then you come back to the next game, in the championship game when it really mattered.
Yeah.
And then, Carl Yates gets a touchdown, and you put your hand back on your head, and you just have this, like, oh, my God, mindset. What was going through your mind in the last, minute after you guys stopped them?
I was just like, wow. I didn't expect us to score right there.
Yeah. So, going forward, obviously, you're going to high school next year. What's the thing that you look forward to most about playing at the high school level?
Just getting bigger and stuff, working out more.
Definitely appreciate you, Jaheem.
Thank you.
Definitely, man. You're an amazing player, and I can't wait to watch you at the next level.
Thank you.
I will next interview co-MVP Corey Yates. Good evening, Corey. How are you today? How you doing today, young man?
Good.
Corey, definitely been around you for a long time. Some of my favorite memories, obviously, is being around you guys from babies, and now seeing you guys as, middle schoolers about to go to high school next year. The season, you changed positions. You were a quarterback. You played running back. First you started off as Jaws, the running back for the Raiders. And then you became a dominant quarterback for the Storm. And then this year you transitioned to become a wide receiver. What was your favorite memory this year? And what was the thing that you learned the most from this season?
Something I learned the most this season was just transitioning in a receiver, learning how to run routes and really break down and run stuff right.
Yeah, and I know last night, at practice we were talking about setting up routes and, adjusting speed to be able to set up your defender. Going forward, this year being able to work and you have a brother who's a star quarterback at St. James, what's the biggest thing that you're excited about for your future?
The biggest thing I'm excited about for my future is definitely being able to play varsity football with him as my quarterback and me at receiver.
Yeah, I know there's going to be memories, especially for your family, that I don't think anything can replace that. And if you guys know Jaden Yates, he went to St. James, and they won the championship this last week. So that definitely was good. Corey, what was your favorite memory of this season?
My favorite memory of this season was probably getting that last touchdown to win the championship.
Yeah. What was going through your mind when the ball was up in the air? You snatched it.
When the ball was up in the air, I just really focused on bringing the ball into my hands and catching it. And then after I caught it, I just focused on running as fast as I can to score.
Yeah. So now that you're a champion, you accomplished, everything you could at the middle school level. What are you doing now to get better, to prepare for the next level?
Really just working, doing footwork stuff, catching balls, running routes in the off season, prepare for high school.
All right, Corey. Well, definitely a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, and definitely good luck in the future.
Thank you.
And we will finally be joined by the co-MVP, Bray Holmes of Wildwood. Good evening, Braylon. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing very, very well. Braylon, this year, coming into this season, was the first time in middle school that you became a full-time quarterback. How would you assess your performance for this season?
I think I started the season off well. I think after what happened, I had to come back and bounce back strong. I need to be more consistent, though.
Yeah. So consistency, when you speak about consistency was what exactly?
Sometimes I miss passes by a few inches. I need to be more consistent on a 1,000% basis, not 90% of the time, 100% of the time.
Okay. So, I asked Kenyon, asked Kyrie, asked Corey, and asked Ja, what is your favorite memory about playing middle school football this season?
Winning the championship. It felt good coming back from being down and going up and winning the game.
Yeah, and you had a lot of people in your corner that game, and you spoke about the resiliency and people believing you. What is something that you take from that you can use in the future?
You have to know that there's always going to be people there for you. Even if there's people who don't believe, you have to bring it yourself. You can't just depend on other people.
Yes. So, going forward, Obviously now you transition to high school. What do you look forward to most in being a high school player?
Memories, getting better as a player, 1,000%.
All right. Well, Braylon, it's definitely a pleasure to have you. Have you in the booth today. Obviously, you smile. You think everything's funny. This is my son. But we keep it professional here. But congratulations on a great season. I look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you.
So we will take a quick commercial break, and then we will be back with the beginning of the Jefferson High School versus Washington game. This is Akeem Holmes at Home Team Sports TV. To all the parents, thank you for allowing your kids to join us on Home Team Sports TV. We'll be back after a quick commercial break. We are back at Jefferson High School where we have the Jefferson High School Cougars versus the Washington Patriots. Jefferson comes in this game at 6-3. I'm joined by my co-host and older brother, Sean Holmes. This is the first time we actually got to hook up, and a lot of people don't realize, Sean, you went to school for a little bit of communications.
Yes, sir. Got a Bachelor of Arts in Sports Communication. So
to be able to have him on here and to be able to, broadcast this game with my older brother is definitely something I'm going to cherish. Last year, I actually got to broadcast Jordan's game, so that was definitely wild. And then to be able to now broadcast on a professional level with my older brother, definitely going to enjoy this.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
So the first thing that we want to talk about is obviously the keys to the game. We've both seen these teams play a few times. You've seen Washington play, and obviously Washington is a heavy run scheme. You see Jefferson play, and they kind of mix in the run and the pass. What is your keys to the game for both teams?
Well, for Washington, they're the perceived underdog, so you got to shorten the game. Shorten the game, run the ball, no turnovers, nothing crazy. Just try to keep that explosive offense from Jefferson off the field.
And for Jefferson?
Jefferson is keep the momentum going. They got a game. They'll have a game next week. So keep the positive momentum going. Try to play clean.
Yeah. And that's something they definitely struggle with this season. When you watch this Jefferson team, they consistently have the penalties at the wrong time. So we have the kickoff, and the ball is kicked into the end zone for a touchback, and it'll be Washington ball, 1st and 10. Sean, I look forward to seeing how the emotion can impact this game. Sometimes emotion, as we've seen like in the Martinsburg game, the first few possessions were a little bit sloppy. Now we have a rivalry game where one team wants to maintain that momentum, like you said. The other team knows that this is the end for them. I definitely look forward to seeing how these emotions can impact the game. And Washington has a big line.
Yes.
So let's see if Jefferson's line and their defense can hold up Washington big offensive line. In first play, we have a penalty. We spoke about right.
Emotions are high. Most of these kids know each other. Probably been some smack talk on Facebook and whatever. So you just got to play clean. You just got to think. Like first play of the game and you jump off sides.
Yeah,
that's just not being ready.
And that's not being disciplined at that point in time. So we have a 1st and 5 for Washington at the 25-yard line. They're in the single wing, and another penalty. It looks like it'll be 12 men on the field, so they might get a first down off of 2 penalties. So it'll be a 1st and 10 Washington without even running the play.
And this is what I'm talking about. These are the things that Washington needs to try to pull the upset.
And this is exactly what Jefferson, wants to avoid, especially next week going in. And they're going to play against a pretty tough opponent.
Right, and probably on the road. So you definitely can't have mental mistakes.
So 1st and 10 for Washington. They're in a single wing. Quarterback takes the handoff, rushes to the left, and he is bottled up for a gain of 2. And when the season first began, Jefferson seemed to struggle a little bit against the run. When they played against Sharando, Musselman ran the ball pretty well against them as well. Millbrook ran the ball pretty good. So really, they've had an emphasis and a little bit more physical against the run. Inserted an extra linebacker. What is the key when you have to go into December? I mean, no, not December, November. It gets colder. Teams are no longer just throwing the ball around. What is the key in the weight room?
What is the key to being in the weight room?
Yeah.
You just got to get in there, man. You got to like it. You got to want to be there.
Because I asked that question because Jordan, your son, my nephew, was a prime example of someone who really converted his body around from when he was in 9th grade to what he looked like last year by being in the weight room. So you got to see the impact of how important the weight room is. And inserting Quentin Goins, another big-bodied, strong kid at defensive end, has been instant impact for Jefferson High School.
And he's a big kid and has got room to grow.
He's only a junior.
Right.
He's only a junior. So he's transitioned from the quarterback to the defensive end position and has done very, very well. So we have a cross-buck counter, and he is wrapped up by Nasir Jacobs of Jefferson High School. And it'll be a 4th down. Actually, that was Quentin Goins on the tackle.
It looked like that ball came out, but it must have been down.
And it will be a 4. Well, actually, it won't be a 4 and out because they got the 1st down on penalty. So it'll be 4 plays, but with the penalty, it won't be a 4th and out. But it'll be a 4th and 4 for Washington High School, and they'll be punting to this dangerous duo of Keyshawn Robinson and Isaiah Fritz. So let's see if they try to do more of a Australian style kick right here to kick the ball away from them.
Yeah, that'd be smart. I wouldn't kick to neither one of those guys.
And the punt is off.
Right.
And it is angled to the left corner. And it hits at the 40-yard line. It will bounce at the 41. And Jefferson will take over in good territory at the 41-yard line. And this is exactly what Washington doesn't. They don't want to give this explosive attack a short field. But you also don't want to kick the ball to a returner and lose that momentum on a kickoff return, which we call a cheap touchdown. But special forces are key on the teams. So it'll be a 1st and 10 Jefferson. We will have twins to both sides. Evan Toole to his right. Dylan Herrick with Evan Toole to his right. He looks over, gets the play. It's a snap. He drops back the pass. A deep pass to Keyshawn Robinson in the slot and slightly overthrown. And if you watched the Chalk Talk yesterday, with the style of defense that Washington runs, Coach Vernon Hunter stated that he wanted to make this a big game for the slot receiver.
Yes. With all that speed, one of the fastest kids in the state. I mean, it's hard for anybody to keep up with him.
Yeah.
So.
And especially they're doing a cover. Looks like they're playing man with a 2 deep safety. The freshman Cameron Togan's back at safety. If you guys know, his brother Dewey was an NFL. I mean, it's not his brother. His uncle Dewey was an NFL player for the Raiders and the Seahawks. And that first handoff to Evan Toole will be a gain of 5. So it'll be a 3rd and 5 for Jefferson at the Jefferson 46-yard line. And Evan Toole was definitely someone when you come into the season, you expected him to have a big season. But with having so many weapons on the team, he's rushed for 600 yards. But he's fresh and he's healthy, so he's going to be key for them going forward in the playoffs.
Absolutely, especially when the weather turns. It's going to be cold. Like you said, you can't throw the ball. You're not going to be able to throw the ball around, especially if you go up north somewhere.
Yeah, Willem Park.
Right. It's going to be cold. Might be snowing, windy.
Looks like a little false start.
Yeah,
got
I
away
think
with.
they missed. Oh, I think they got it.
So they got it late.
Yeah,
So
false start on Tool.
Yeah.
That's
So
3 penalties already.
And that has been, the thing that I've seen the most when broadcasting these games for Jefferson High School. Just the slight undiscipline. That Musselman game, so many penalties. This game, they have 3 penalties in 10 plays. So Jefferson definitely has to clean that up going forward to beat some of the better teams in the state. So now it'll be a 3rd and 10 for Jefferson at the 41-yard line. We have twins to the right. We had trips to the left. Now you see Keyshawn motion. Keyshawn Robinson going in motion. The screenplay and it's by Washington, but he breaks the tackle. And he's at the 40-yard line. It'll be a 1st and 10 Jefferson. Washington had that play diagnosed.
That play was diagnosed very well by Washington. Just got to make the tackle.
And that is what plagued Washington all season. They are well coached. They're well coached on the defensive side of the ball, but they just don't seem to make the plays when they're there. So it'll be a 1st and 10 at the Washington 38-yard line. We'll have trips to the right. Keyshawn Robinson in motion and Evan Tool, and it'll be a gain of 4. So we're getting a steady dose of Evan Tool today, and that bodes well for Jefferson if they can get the run game going.
That's going to be key going down the road. They got to establish Tool. These teams know that they got all the speed outside. Keyshawn, Fritz, Powell. They're not going to let those guys beat them.
And the thing about it is Tool's healthy, definitely going forward. You really want to see that. So you see a quick screen to Keyshawn Robinson. It will be a gain of 10 and a 1st and 10 Jefferson at the Washington 25-yard line. So like we just said, going into the playoffs, Sean, running the game, and it's also all predicated on your seeding. Eventually, this team is going to have to be on the road, either that's this week coming up or the following week after that. And they're going to have to travel down south or up north. We know that the run game is going to be important, and I think that's what Craig has put an emphasis on. He's put an emphasis on since that game. It was no longer more spread it out, pass the ball 30, 40 times like you did last year with Sammy Roberts. They really became more of a run game, even with their quarterback.
Right.
So
it's key. You can't be one-dimensional and beat the better teams in the state.
No, and you also have to be disciplined. They have to cut those penalties out next week and have the best, most disciplined game possible. So the 2nd and 10, the Washington 25-yard line with 7 minutes and 7 seconds to go. They send Tayshawn Roper in motion. Herrick drops back. He reads the field. He throws the ball to Spencer Powell, and it is almost picked off by Cameron Togans.
And that's the plays you got to make when you're in the underdog. You got to make that play.
And it looked like that ball was thrown very well, just off the fingertips of Powell. But like you said, if you're an underdog, you're 2-7, you have to come up with those big plays to be able to squelch any kind of momentum that Jefferson may gain.
Absolutely.
So the freshman will definitely be kicking himself over that. But it's also 3rd and 10 for Jefferson, and Washington has a chance for a big stop. You have twins to both sides. They will send Keyshawn Robinson in motion to create a trips. An angle route by Robinson. And the ball is a wheel route to Evan Toole. And Evan Toole breaks the tackle, and he will be tackled down for a 1st down, Jefferson High School at the 6-yard line. So, Sean, we have seen Toole be involved in the screen game. We've seen him now leak out the wheel route. We've seen him take handoffs. It's clear. It's a clear consensus that they really want to get Evan Toole the ball today.
And that's a good thing. Like was announced before the game, he's 57 yards away from breaking the school record. So he's a weapon.
Yeah, and Kenny Carr is the Jefferson High School rushing leader. So for him to be able to break a record of such an elite talent, I know that would mean a lot to Evan. And that play is bottled up in the backfield.
It's going to be another false start on Jefferson, or legal motion.
So we have some more laundry on the field. illegal shift for Jefferson. And with that laundry being on the field, that's the fourth penalty in around 15 to 16 plays. I don't know the exact amount, but it's definitely the fourth penalty.
That's the fourth penalty. And we're not halfway through the first quarter yet.
So we have a 1st and 15 for Jefferson at the 11-yard line. We have Keyshawn Robinson alone on the left side. We have Spencer Powell and Isaiah Fritz on the right side. You send Isaiah Fritz in motion. And you send a toss to Isaiah Fritz. Isaiah Fritz cuts back, and with his speed, he gets down to the 5-yard line, and it'll be a 2nd and 5, well, 2nd and goal for Jefferson at the 5-yard line. And you see Jefferson becoming a little bit more creative to allow their game breakers and their playmakers to be able to get the ball without really having to take deep shots.
Right. Just get the ball in their hands. These guys are, like you said, game breakers with elite speed. Whether it's tosses, whether it's bubbles, just get it in their hands and let them be athletes.
2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. You have two receivers to the right, Keyshawn Robinson alone on the left. Evan Toole to the left, a handoff to Toole. He runs the ball up the middle. And does he get in? Touchdown, yep. Evan Toole. 5-yard rush by Evan Toole will get the Jefferson High School Cougars on the board. It'll be 6-0 with 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first quarter. Now, they were able to overcome those penalties on that possession. Obviously, it was a steady dose of Toole. Even if they got the penalties, the next play they come back and they were able to get some chunk yardage. Jefferson's offense has that capability where they can actually get those chunk plays. They just have to maintain discipline and maintain a level of focus for them to be able to beat some of the better teams that they will face.
It's not a habit you want to get into, having to overcome 1st and 15s and 2nd and 15s and 3rd and 12s because of penalties.
And especially as the weather can change now. Season where, the further south you go, you might be able to get some snow. So it's with 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first quarter. Both teams have had possession once. Washington goes 4 plays and has to punt, but they were able to get a first down on 2 Jefferson penalties. Jefferson was able to take the ball from the 41-yard line of their own 41-yard line and drive the ball 59 yards for a touchdown. And we have Evan Toole that's now 30 yards away from breaking the school record. And that is something that we'll definitely be focusing on throughout this broadcast. I wonder if they're going to, stop the game a little bit and acknowledge if he breaks the record tonight in front of the home crowd.
Which is very impressive. I was here when Kenny Carr was out there running. And
you were in high school when Kenny Carr?
Yes. Kenny's a year older than I am. I was a junior when he was a senior. And Kenny was a beast. The best running back I've ever seen come around through here.
Yeah, Kenny Carr is definitely something special. And Washington with a great run back. And he'll be tackled at the 27-yard line. So a 27-yard return. A personal foul on Jefferson High School. Another penalty on Jefferson.
Might have got a face mask.
So 15 yards onto the 27-yard return. And Washington should have the ball around the 42-yard line after this 15-yard penalty is walked off.
And these are the things I talked about earlier. Penalties. Keeping Washington in these kind of things keep the underdog in the game.
Yeah, and the ball at the 43-yard line, but unfortunately, this has just kind of been who Jefferson is this season. A lot of penalties, a lot of, they have to overcome so much to be able to be successful. So this is game 10. At some point, this is just who you are. So it'll be a 1st and 10 Washington at the 43-yard line. The single wing, handoff, fake counter. Quarterback is met in the backfield. He tosses the ball out of bounds to avoid a sack, and it will be a 2nd and 10 from the 43-yard line. Jefferson's defensive line has been in the backfield. they've gotten a lot of penetration.
Yeah, they have. And Washington's got a pretty big line.
And Washington, I've seen Washington's line against some other teams, and they've been able to impose their will. Now, they haven't always been able to put the ball in the end zone because when you have this style of offense, you literally have to run 10 to 12 plays without making mistakes, to be able to get into the end zone.
And against 10, 11-man fronts.
Yes.
Because most teams know you're not going to throw the ball.
So it'll be a gain of 3, so it'll be a 3rd and 7 at the Jefferson 46-yard line. And like you said, Sean, when teams know that you don't have many weapons on the field that can get those chunk plays, you're able to put 7, 8, 9, 10 people in the box. Just have one safety back just in case you might try to sneak a tight end out, and to be able to stop your run game. But there's so many teams in West Virginia that are successful running this, like Bridgeport.
I saw Bridgeport last week scored over 60 points and didn't throw one pass.
And you see the ball carrier tackled by none other than Quentin Goins, who literally the last 3 games of the season has put his name to be nominated for all EPAC for defensive end.
And you know what's great? He didn't pout when he got demoted from quarterback.
Yeah.
He just kept grinding. Now he's playing at elite level at defensive end.
And
that says a lot about the kid.
Yeah. And one thing I can say, like, even the game that he did get demoted, when you watch the game, when Jefferson scored and Dylan scored or Dylan made a pass, Quentin was the first person that was out there to greet him. Definitely have a lot of respect, for how he handled this season. And it'll be a punt out of bounds, so the punt returners are causing so much fear in Washington that the 2 punts that they've had have gone probably cumulative 25 yards combined.
Yeah, they might want to think about doing the rugby style. Maybe running to the sideline and just squib punt that just bounces.
Yeah, let it roll. Right. Because that literally ended up being a 4-yard punt. That was a 4-yard punt because it was at the 45-yard line when they kicked off. And now it is on the Jefferson 49-yard line. So a 6-yard punt for Washington. And we have a 1st and 10 Jefferson at the Jefferson 49-yard line. Now we see a different formation. We have Roper and Evan Toole in the backfield. Roper is definitely an exceptional running back that we'll see a lot more of next season as he probably takes over a future role with Evan Toole graduating.
Absolutely. And I like having them both on the field together. That's just another weapon that defense has got to think about.
It's another weapon along with a different style of running back. Tayshawn is a little quicker, a little faster, whereas Evan has a quickness and the speed, but he's more stout. He's more, you can tell he's been in the weight room. It's 2 extra years in the weight room.
Right.
He's
That's
physical.
a senior against that's a senior
sophomore
versus a sophomore. That's 2 extra years of weight room.
And it makes a huge difference. And I think that's why, I'm going to give a shout out to Cameron Togans. To be able to play as a freshman, get through the whole season uninjured. I want to say that he definitely, today I read in the newspaper where he's actually in the top 10 in tackles, and he's only a freshman. So to be able to handle that physicality as a 14-year-old against kids who are 18, some kids maybe 19, you never know, that bodes well for that young man's future as well.
Yes, sir. Future's bright.
So we have an injury on the field for Washington, and the player gets up under his own power. Definitely hope.
Number 7, Dennis Smith.
Definitely hope that Dennis can get back in the game.
Walking off on his own power, so that's a good sign.
He's walking a little bit ginger, so he could have gotten rolled up on a little bit. You never know. Don't want to speculate, but it seems like the way he's walking, we'll see Dennis again. So it'll be a 2nd and 6 from the Washington 46-yard line. We will see that same formation, 2 receivers to the left, a single receiver to the right with 2 running backs, Roper and Toole in the backfield. Another screen pass to Evan Toole.
Oh, nice catch.
A beautiful catch by Evan Toole. It'll be a 1st and 10 Jefferson Cougars. And that is a pass that you actually have to throw with a level of touch, and he let him, but he let him listen a little too much. But the great hands of Evan Toole were able to allow him to catch up to that ball and gain 8 yards after the catch. So we have 2 receivers to the left, Spencer Powell alone on the right-hand side with no safety help. Let's see if they take that shot right now to Powell. Send Isaiah Fritz in motion. A handoff to Evan Toole. And he gashes him for a gain of, still going, gashes him for a gain of 15. So he is 15 yards closer to Kenny Carr's all-time leading rusher record.
That's some tough running by Evan. Broke multiple tackles, kept his legs driving. It's a good run. He got a good lather going.
You take out Roper, you put your H back in, another handoff to Evan Toole. Runs the ball up the middle. Another strong run by Evan Toole. And he is down at the 18-yard line of Washington. Another 7 yards. It'll be a 2nd and 3 Jefferson with 2 minutes and 44 seconds left in the first quarter.
Looks like Jefferson could do this all night. Give it to Evan, give it to Tayshawn, 5, 6, 7 yards a pop.
Yeah, they're definitely imposing their will. And Jefferson has a very, very young offensive line. There are a lot of freshmen and sophomores on that line. A cross-butt counter. Evan Toole to the 9-yard line.
Number 3, Toole on the carry. Results in a first down.
And this is playoff football.
This bodes well for next week, week after, week after.
And even when you see the NFL, when you see them in September, the style of play by every offense changes by the time December comes around. So you have a 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Evan Toole to the sideline. Roper will be the single back in the backfield. You send Wyatt Shively, the H-back, in motion to the left. Hand off to Tayshawn Roper. Tayshawn cuts back, and he has met in the hole and for a gain of no yards.
Nice penetration by the Washington front. Number 65? Jonathan Brewster.
That's Brew. That's Kevin Brewster's nephew.
Yes, sir. Got nice penetration, made the play.
Good size, only a sophomore.
Big kid.
Bruce is around 6'3", 300 pounds.
It's a big kid.
So
gonna get bigger and stronger.
In the gym. Evan Toole to the right. Hand off to Evan Toole. Oh, actually a quarterback fake. And Dylan Harris busts to the outside, and he is in the end zone. Touchdown on the quarterback keeper, Dylan Harris. The fake was so good it faked out the commentator.
Yeah. Nice read option by Harris.
And that was a great pull that Dylan had.
In crashed, he kept it.
And you can just tell that since Toole softened them up with some of those rushes earlier in the drive, that they focused on that inside, which allowed Dylan to get to the outside and bust it in for a touchdown. And Jefferson leads 13-0 with 1 minute and 11 seconds left in the first quarter. And the kick is up by the freshman, and it is good. It is 14-0 Jefferson High School. And we're going to take a quick commercial break. This is Home Team Sports with Keem Holmes with Sean Holmes. We'll be right back.
This is Quintez McDonald Gibson from Integrity Home Mortgage. Come join the winning team today.
Back at Jefferson High School with the Jefferson High School Cougars leading the Washington Patriots 14-0 with 1 minute and 11 seconds left in the first quarter. And Sean, we talked about what Jefferson needed to do to not allow Washington to get any kind of momentum going forward. And so far, they've chosen to do that with physicality.
Yes, sir.
So Washington with the kickoff return. The field is open. And he just didn't seem like he exploded. And he's down at the 47-yard line, but it just didn't seem like he took that chance to really take that to the house.
Yeah, I thought he was going to accelerate and get around that corner.
So it will be a 1st and 10, Washington at the 46-yard line. So to recap that last possession, Jefferson ran 7 plays for 51 yards, 1 pass, 6 running plays. Jefferson is definitely focused on being a running team. So Coach Hunter has definitely chosen to be more physical going forward.
He probably challenged his offensive line, challenged his running backs, and so far so good. And that was Rodrigo Delgado with that kick return.
And he takes the first handoff for a gain of 8. And the thing that most people have a common misperception about is the spread doesn't always have to be to pass. You can run a spread and still have a level of physicality if that's how your team wants to be bred and built.
Exactly.
So it'll be a 2nd and 2 with 33 seconds left. Washington, for the first time, is in Jefferson territory at the Jefferson 46-yard line. You see the single wing set. They take the handoff, rushes to the right. He stutter steps, and he gets a gain of 3, so it'll be a 1st and 10 Washington. Most likely they will take this to the second quarter.
Washington got some nice push on that play.
So the referee tells them to run the clock. Washington's lineman will have to come off the field due to his helmet coming off. And with 6 seconds left, Washington seems highly content to take this to the second quarter. So at the end of 1, we have Jefferson 14, Washington 0. We'll take a quick commercial break and be right back at Home Team Sports TV.
Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling.
We had the Jefferson High School Cougars 14 and the Washington Patriots 0. Washington is in Jefferson territory for the first time. I would like to take this chance to thank our sponsors. Today's title sponsor is Neil Powell at Down Home Insurance at 202-431-6896. And Sunday's Tanning, your first 24-hour access tanning salon in 2 convenient locations in Shepherdstown and Martinsburg Pike and Martinsburg and Winchester Avenue, 1440 Winchester Avenue, Shepherdstown 7670 Martinsburg Pike. So we are back, and the first play is a loss of 1.
Another nice play, nice penetration by Quentin Goins.
And Quentin has been a handful for this Washington offensive line. So it'll be a 2nd and 11 for Washington at the Jefferson 44-yard line. I'd like to thank sponsors VFW Post 3522, HG's Barbecue and Soul Food Catering, and B Attitudes Hair and Beauty Supply, 304-263-2828. Washington will run the ball. A great rush by Rodrigo Delgado will be a gain of 7. And it will have a 3rd and 3 at the Jefferson 36-yard line.
And this is more than likely 2-down territory for Washington. Already down 14-0.
And that was a strong jump cut by Rodrigo. Because it seemed like he was running out of space, and he took a jump cut, and he was able to get 4 more yards. So it'll be a 3rd and 3. Washington lines up in their single wing. H back in the tight end to the right. run up the middle. It'll be a 1st and 10, Washington High School.
And this is the formula for Washington. Chew that clock. Keep that explosive offense with Toole and Robinson and Powell and Fritz. Keep them on the sideline.
And the main thing that Washington needs to do in this situation as well, Sean, is they have to punch it in.
Yep, you got to convert.
This cannot be a possession where you just build confidence, but you don't get 7.
Yep, you got to cash it in.
So it'll be a 1st and 10 for Washington at the Jefferson 31-yard line. Washington in single wing set. Takes the handoff to the left, and he is quickly met by Quentin Goins.
Number 3 again, Delgado on the carry, short game.
And Noah Bajent.
Number 53, Noah Bajent.
Noah's a sophomore. Wildwood Mustang alumni. So it'll be a 2nd and 9 from the 30-yard line. And it's interesting to see how Jefferson will continue to adjust to this Washington attack. In a pitch, he gets to the outside, he gets a gain of 5. So it'll be a 3rd and 4 from the 24-yard line.
And if they can get 3, 4, 5, I mean,
that's first down.
Right. And it's like I said, it's 2-down territory.
And I like how Washington is using misdirection to be able to create some openings on the outside.
Yep, got to have eye discipline if you're Jefferson.
So 3rd and 5 from the 26-yard line. Single wing. He takes the snap, takes the handoff up the middle, and he is quickly met for a gain of 1. So we will have a 4th and 4 at the 25-yard line. And, Sean, this is what we just talked about. You cannot have this drive and not get 7, because it honestly turns into a quandary and a detriment to yourself when you're a team that needs a lot of time to be able to score points, and then you take a lot of time off on these drives, but you don't convert.
Right. You got to cash it in. The formula is there. This is the right formula. But like you said, you got to cash it in.
So 4th and 5 from the 25-yard line. Let's see if they try to get him to go off sides. A handoff to Rodrigo, and he busts up the middle, and it'll be a touchdown, Washington High School. That was a strong, strong run by Rodrigo Delgado.
That was a strong, strong drive by that Washington front.
And Rodrigo has the power and the speed that once he gets past that first line of defense, he has enough speed and power to be able to punch it in.
He's a good-sized kid, only a junior. So he'll be back next year.
And I remember watching Rodrigo in basketball. I never envisioned at a young age that he would be a pretty strong and talented running back, but he's definitely converted himself into a very talented football player. He put up big yards last season. There'll be offsides on Jefferson.
Or flags.
And let's see
they might go
if
for
Washington
2.
goes for 2.
Absolutely. You'd have to think about it.
I kind of would.
I would. I think they're going to.
Yeah, the way I've been running the ball that last possession, and I can make this 14-8. So it looks like Washington will go for it.
Absolutely.
You have nothing to lose.
Nope. They gave you a free 2 yards. You just got 20 yards. You can get another 2.
I get the ball right back to Rodrigo.
Yes, sir. And there he is. And he's in.
And he's in for a 2. And the score is 14-8. Jefferson with 8 minutes and 3 seconds left in the second quarter. And that is what Washington needs. And that's what you said, Sean. That is the formula to be able to take that time off the clock, to be able to convert and punch it in. Typically, you would get 7. They were able to get 8. And now, with 8 minutes and 3 seconds left, Jefferson knows they're in for a dogfight.
Right. The longer you let an underdog hang around, the longer you got a chance to get clipped.
And let's see if Jefferson comes out this next possession, and comes with a little bit of tenseness because the game is close, or if they say, hey, relax, we got this, and come down with a dominant drive to calm the Washington momentum and emotion down.
Don't get out of character. Do what was working. Hand the ball to number 3 and number 6.
Yeah. And to be completely honest with you, when you have that firepower, then you never feel like you're out of the game. You always feel like you're just one play away from quieting everything down, not relaxing, but putting yourself in a prime position to be able to win. So their kicker is a lineman. And he squib kicks it.
That's perfect.
And the ball gets back to Fritz regardless, and Fritz gets to the outside.
Uh-oh.
He might be gone. And the sideline is his friend. And now you see why Washington doesn't want to kick the ball to either Fritz or Keyshawn Robinson. Yeah, I'm excited to see where Fritz ends up next season.
That speed's an eye-opener.
It's definitely an eye-opener. His dad had some speed, too, back in the day.
JD could run.
And the thing about it, Sean, is the beauty of having that speed is Isaiah could go to college and run track or football. And just like how track opened up another avenue for players and people that we know, track can open up an avenue for Isaiah as well to be able to play at the next level.
Absolutely.
Send Spencer Powell in motion, and he will take the pitch. Spencer Powell gets to the inside, and he is down at the 20-yard line, so it'll be a 1st and 10 Jefferson. And this is the type of drive that Jefferson needed after Washington had that dominant, explosive drive right there. And the worst thing for the Washington team, period, would be for them to take 7 to 8 minutes off the clock to get a touchdown, and Jefferson to score in 2 minutes.
In 2 minutes.
So you have Spencer Powell alone on the right side with no safety help. You have 2 receivers bunched to the left with Evan Toole to the right. You're seeing Isaiah Fritz in motion. Hand off to Evan Toole. Evan Toole bangs it in for a gain of 7. And it will be a 2nd and 3 from the 18-yard line of Washington.
Never went down.
And eventually, with seeing these receivers being covered straight up, that Dylan Herrick will take that chance to give his receiver a chance to make a big play.
Yeah, and the run sets all that up. They're going to have to commit more people to stop Toole and Roper. And then you got Powell and Fritz and Keyshawn out there one-on-one. And that's a matchup you like, all 3 of them.
A slant to Spencer Powell. There'll be a 1st and 10 Jefferson at the 6-yard line. And I seen the way that Spencer Powell was lined up inside the numbers. I knew that slant was coming.
Yeah, he's got a lot of room to work with out there, playing just one-on-one.
So 1st and 6 Jefferson at the Washington 6-yard line with 6 minutes and 8 seconds left in the second quarter. You have 2 receivers to the left, Spencer Powell alone on the right-hand side, Evan Toole to his right, Dylan Herrick in the pistol. He steps back, and he throws an out route to Spencer Powell in for the touchdown Jefferson. And that was a great play. That was a great setup, great pass, and Spencer Powell does the rest. Jefferson High School 20, Washington 8. And Jefferson will send out their freshman kicker, Jonathan Pineros, to make it 21. So 3 possessions for the Jefferson High School Cougars and 3 touchdowns. So we're waiting for the extra point. The ball is snapped. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Jefferson 21, Washington 8. Would like to take this time to thank our sponsors, Neil Power Down Home Insurance, Shelton's Tree Services, who is our halftime sponsor, Cheryl Yates of ERA Realty, Sunday's Tanning, your first 24-hour all-access tanning salon in the Eastern Panhandle with 2 convenient locations. One located in Shepherdstown at 7670 Martinsburg Pike, and one is located in Martinsburg at 1440 Winchester Avenue. Key Property Management, VFW Post 3522, HG's Barbecue and Soul Food Catering, Quintez McDonald Gibson at Integrity Home Mortgage, Chris Page at Quality Lawn Care. He's amazing. He does an amazing job. L&L Handyman Services, Marcus Roper at Money Mart Training, Catro Law, and we have Our Handyman Services, and we finish with our newest sponsor, B Attitudes Hair and Beauty Supply. So, Sean, 3 possessions for Jefferson High School, 3 touchdowns. They were able to do it in a multitude of ways. It seems like they're clicking at the right time.
Great formula so far, and the run can open up the pass to all these weapons outside.
And Rodrigo's busts another one, and he is out to the 33-yard line. And I tell you what, Rodrigo going into next season is a player to watch in the Eastern Panhandle.
He's an impressive-looking athlete. And another summer in the weight room, he's going to be much bigger than he is right now. And he's already a pretty big kid.
You can tell that he's transitioning his body in the weight room, and he has been a load for Jefferson to tackle. So we got 1st and 10 Washington at the 34-yard line. We have Delgado in the backfield. Single wing, cross counter, and a pitch. Never seen anything like that before, and it would lead to a gain of 2. That was so much motion and action in a short period of time. You run a counter, and then you run a pitch with the counter back.
That's a lot. Like, you got to have eye discipline. Read your keys. Jefferson did a good job.
And you can tell if Washington continues to get their linemen in the weight room and their running backs continue to get in the weight room like Delgado, the system that Simpson has integrated at Washington can actually work if kids buy into that system. That's a good run for Washington to be a gain of 7.
Washington's getting big chunks now on the ground. 5, 6, 7, 8. They don't panic. 21-8.
Exactly. In your last few possessions, you've been moving the ball very well. So it'd be a 3rd and 2 at the 41-yard line. Handoff, and he will get a gain of 5 yards, and it'll be a 1st and 10 Washington at the 45-yard line. And Jefferson has nothing for this Washington running attack right now.
Washington's a lot bigger up front than Jefferson is, if you just look at it.
From a size standpoint.
Right. So they can just lean on these guys.
And that's why I said it's going to be amazing to see the adjustment that Coach Craig Hunter makes at halftime. So handoff to Rodrigo Delgado, and he gets a gain of 6 yards. And Washington will now be into Jefferson territory. And just like Toole, number 3 for Jefferson seems to be able to get 5 or 6 yards a pop, it's also the same thing for number 3 for Washington, Rodrigo Delgado. But the thing about it is now with 3 minutes and 23 seconds left in the style of offense that Washington runs,
going to have to speed it up
they're going to either have to speed it up a little bit, or you're going to see them implement maybe a pass to get some chunk yardage. Single wing, he takes the snap up the middle, and another 1st down for Rodrigo Delgado. And Jefferson has nothing to stop Delgado at this time.
Nothing
and
fancy.
Nasir Jacobs makes a stop at the 44-yard line, but it'll be a 1st and 10 Patriots.
Now, if Washington can punch this in and run this clock out, it's That's the perfect storm.
If you go into the half 21-15, 21-16, if you're a Washington Patriot, you definitely love where you're at, especially with your ability to move the ball in the way they've been able to move the ball. But eventually, like you said, Sean, they're going to have to speed this up. And see the penetration right there, and that's why this offense is so tough, because everything has to be on as scheduled every single play.
Nice play by number 11, Nasir Jacobs.
And the sophomore, you know, especially in this type of game, being a linebacker, you got to love this type of game if you're a linebacker. Knowing that you really don't have to worry about the tight end, you really don't have to worry about much with the pass. You can really just get downhill and just be physical.
Right.
So they lost a 5. It'll be a 2nd and 16 at the 48-yard line.
And this is what you can't have if you're Washington. Can't get off schedule.
And you're under 1 minute right now. The handoff to the quarterback with a gain of 7 yards. So it'll be a 3rd and 9 with 1 minute and 44 seconds left in the second quarter. Like you said, you know, Sean, they can't get off schedule because they're getting 5 or 6 yards a chunk. But unfortunately, unless they get another big run like that last Delgado run, they're going to run out of time.
Right.
So I'd like to take this time to thank our staff, our producer, Harry Brown, main camera, Kevin Brewster, Shalinka Jacobs on the overlay, Keem Holmes joined by my big brother Sean Holmes commentating, my son Janady Amir Ahmed doing the field camera, the host of sponsors that allow us to be able to broadcast into the living rooms of so many. I thank everyone. We thank everyone for allowing us to be Home Team Sports TV.
Yes, sir.
So this is the second time this young man has been injured today. So hopefully we see him again. He's definitely a warrior fighting back to be able to get on the field. If you're in Washington, especially if you're a senior, this is the last time that some of these seniors will ever step foot on the football field. So you definitely know they're going to put everything out there to make this a memorable one.
Absolutely. And playing your county rival, what better way to end it all?
So it is 3rd and 9 from the 44-yard line. And it'll be a holding penalty on Washington, and it would take them back 10 yards. Let's see what the call is going to be.
65 was having a discussion with the ref, so I think he may be the guilty party.
So it'll be a 10-yard penalty on Washington to take that back 10 yards from the spot of the foul. And it'll be a 3rd and 19 for Washington. And you definitely don't want that, because now you're not only do you lose 10 yards, you're back behind. You're back in your own territory now.
Yeah, they may take this in. They may run the ball, make Jefferson take a timeout. I don't think they want to do anything crazy. Throw a pick 6.
Yeah.
That's not in their DNA to convert 3rd and 19s.
And Jefferson seems pretty content in going into half at 21-8 as well. So another handoff to Rodrigo Delgado, and Coach Hunter calls a timeout. So he's going to allow, number one, you're going to have to punt the ball to one of their returners. The last few punts have not really gone very far.
Right.
And if you do take that chance to punt the ball to a Robinson or a Fritz, you risk them breaking it 80 yards for a touchdown. So Coach Hunter is going to allow his team to make a play. If I'm not mistaken, they still have 2 more timeouts. I think that was the first timeout that we've seen all game. Washington has 3 timeouts. Jefferson has 2 timeouts.
Yep.
So we may see some of those shots that we were talking about, Sean, when you see those receivers being single covered with only a single high safety.
it's worth a shot. Like if all the weapons you got outside.
And this is where you definitely embrace having a track team at wide receiver. When you have a very short period of time and you need to go 70, 80 yards. And now Washington is calling a timeout. So you had Jefferson call a timeout, and then Washington calls a timeout. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. This is Akeem Holmes at Home Team Sports TV. At Jefferson High School, where we have Washington about to punt with 47.7 seconds left, and you have Keyshawn Robinson back to receive it along with Isaiah Fritz. Let's see if Washington has this rugby style that Sean you talked about the last time to be able to keep the ball away from these punt returners.
Yeah, I don't think I'm punting to either one of them. I'm kicking it right out of bounds.
And a nice high
angled punt
to the 20-yard line. Fritz gets the ball, and he is out of bounds at the 33-yard line, and Jefferson will have 38.4 seconds left with 2 timeouts.
That was a perfect punt. Angled right to the sideline. Washington had 3 guys there. You got to make the tackle.
You got to make the tackle, but also another good thing about that punt was that it was high, so it took more time off the clock. So that was a 9-second play right there.
Right.
Let's see if Washington goes to a 2-deep safety right now.
Oh, they have to.
Yeah, it would definitely be smart to have a 2-deep safety. You don't want anyone to get behind you. You have trips to the right side, single receiver to the left. Herrick rolls out. Beautiful pass to Spencer Powell for a gain of 12.
And got out of bounds.
And having that big body receiver right there, where you see that pass is a little bit high, and Powell just goes up there and gets it. That's why quarterbacks love receivers with some height. You have trips to the right, Powell alone on the left-hand side, 2 deep safeties for Washington. They take that deep shot to Isaiah Fritz, and he drops the ball.
Oh, my goodness.
And the senior drops the ball. It's been a big play for Jefferson High School, and it happens so often that you think about what you want to do after catching the ball, that you don't complete the catch.
Got to catch it first.
And that was a beautiful pass by Dylan Herrick.
Catch it, then go hit your head on the goal post. You got to catch it first.
That's the Sean Holmism right there. Catch it and then hit your head on the goal post. We have trips to the right, single receiver to the left. Evan Toole line up to the left side. Dylan Herrick takes that snap. Good penetration. And the ball pass to Keyshawn Robinson, and Jefferson will have to take a timeout right now. You have 21.7 seconds left. And that misfire. No, let me correct that. That drop pass from Fritz has definitely taken Jefferson off schedule just a little bit.
Nice play by 41 Chase Crutchley from Washington. Keyshawn's not an easy guy to bring down in space.
No, and even the anxiety that you may have seeing him get the ball with so much space as a linebacker, to be able to make that play, knowing that the person across from you is so fast, it just shows you just the discipline and that second. They called a timeout earlier. They called 2 timeouts?
They just called another one.
So there is a timeout, Jefferson, and initially they called a timeout. So I am trying to find out, based off of the official conversation, if Jefferson burned 2 timeouts or because it seems like there was a penalty, Sean. If I'm not mistaken, Jefferson now is back at the 42-yard line.
Oh, I missed that.
So we definitely made a 5-yard penalty on that last play. So there is only one timeout that was used. Was able to save that other timeout that we thought was used based off of them getting that penalty. So now it'll be a 15 with 21.7 seconds left. And now at Washington's, well, Jefferson is at their 42-yard line. So they will send Bub Shelton in motion. And a pass to Isaiah Fritz, and he drops another pass. So it'll be 3rd and 15 at the Jefferson 42-yard line.
Very uncharacteristic for Isaiah to drop passes, much less 2, right in his hands.
And that was a beautiful pass by Dylan Harris. So now with 16.7 seconds left, Jefferson will have one more play to get 15 yards, or they'll be forced to punt to Rodrigo Delgado.
And these are the things I've talked about, keeping the underdog in the game.
So now Washington is in a single high. Spencer Powell to the outside. And the ball just continued to tail off to the right-hand side. And it will be a 4th and 15 for Jefferson. It looks like Jefferson may go for it. They sent out their punt team now.
Yeah, you got to punt this ball.
Yeah, 100%. But you seen right there that Jefferson can get open at will. Powell was open on that play. We had 2 plays where Isaiah Fritz was open, and he just uncharacteristically dropped the ball. So going back into the second half, because Jefferson will get the ball first, I wonder if they're going to come out and try to get their passing game going a little bit. So there's 4 seconds left before the play clock. So it looks like Jefferson's going to take a delayed gain of 5 yards. And take them back 5 yards. And this has been a little bit of an adventure this year as well. The long snap for Jefferson. They haven't gotten that down to a high level of being able to consistently get that snap directly back to the punter. We've seen high, we've seen the ball rolled. So let's see if Jefferson can execute this, because this is going to be big going forward when it comes to the playoffs as well, to be able to punt.
Whoa!
And that ball was almost blocked.
It took a long time to get that ball off.
And the ball bounces back, and it will roll out of bounds at the 39-yard line, but that punt took 10 seconds off the clock.
Not very far, but it was high.
And what I was just speaking about, the punt team, he took so long to punt the ball. That wasn't on the line. That wasn't on the snap. He took so long to punt the ball. And you literally have a 7-yard punt that took off 10 seconds left. A 2-yard punt took 10 seconds off. It took 2 seconds off the clock. So we will have a 1st and 10 Washington at the Jefferson 39-yard line. We will have 0.9 seconds left to end the half. Let's see what Washington does.
Take a shot. 0.9 seconds left. No, it's not what you usually do, but
you have nothing to lose.
Right.
And they are going to take that shot. And the ball is picked off by Orrin Humphrey.
Whoa.
But we have a penalty on the play.
If this is pass interference, then it gets interesting.
Because Washington can take a chance at a field goal if it's pass interference.
And that's exactly what it is.
So I wonder who is the pass interference on. So we'll see if Washington takes a chance on kicking a field goal, because the kicker has a good leg. I watched him against Preston, and he kicked the ball 40 yards. So this would be a 40. Where's the ball going to go? To the 24-yard line. So this would be a 42-yard field goal, untimed.
Right.
So Washington, the 42-yard field goal. The ball is snapped. Offsides on Jefferson, so it'll be another 5 yards, so it'll be a 37-yard. So now it'll be a 37-yard field goal. So they've gotten 20 yards on penalties. So the same way that Jefferson began the game, they end the half the same way.
And again, not to beat a dead horse, but this is the formula to keep an underdog in the game. Mistakes, penalties, drop passes.
So now you would have Jefferson gifting Washington 20 yards. So this now becomes a 37-yard field goal.
Spencer Powell back under the goalpost in case it's short.
36-yard attempt.
That is a timeout Jefferson.
Timeout. Cougars.
So, definitely apologize for the silence, but this is the longest untimed down I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
And Coach Hunter wanted to call that timeout to be able to calm his players down because you want to finish the half strong. You don't want to get even more undisciplined. And next thing you know, Washington might run a fake field goal right here and do something crazy and get 7.
Right. If I'm Washington, I hard count again. Try to steal another 5 yards.
So now we would have the 36-yard field goal attempt. The ball is snapped. The kick is up. The kick is good.
Good.
And Washington is able to get 3 points. So now they will go into the half. Jefferson 21 and Washington 11. We will take a quick commercial break and we'll be back. This is Akeem Holmes and Sean Holmes with Home Team Sports TV. You have a great game between two cross-county rivals. We'll see you right back. We'll see you in a few seconds.
Years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
This is Quintez McDonald Gibson from Integrity Home Mortgage. Come join the winning team today.
Jawan is the ultimate hype guy. I love him. He's always positive. He's always pepping them up and firing them up.
Parker, work, Parker, work, Parker, work, 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 work.
The Jefferson Cougar Marching Band presents Dragons and Vikings, featuring music from How to Train Your Dragon by John Powell. Arranged exclusively for the JHS Band by Steve Martin. Percussion arranged by Aaron Hines. Drill design by Terry Williams. Drum major Thomas DeBucanani. Assistant drum majors Alicia Hunter, Patrick Wilson. Marching captain Isaac Coltrane. We would like to dedicate tonight's performance to Kathy Wendell, our long-time guard instructor and choreographer at JHS. Miss Kathy passed away last Friday after a long battle with cancer. Thank you for everything, Miss Kathy. We love you.
This is Quintez McDonald Gibson from Integrity Home Mortgage. Come join the winning team today.
Juwan is the ultimate hype guy. I love him. He's always positive. He's always pepping them up and firing them up.
Come on, Parker, work, Parker, work, Parker, work, 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 work,
And we are back at Jefferson High School, where we have the homestanding Jefferson Cougars leading the Washington Patriots 21-11. Washington with a big kick to end the first half that pulled them within 10. Thanks to the spirit of Jefferson for getting us these stats. Right now for Jefferson, we have Evan Toole with 7 rushes for 47 yards and 1 touchdown. Quarterback Dylan Herrick is 7 for 13 for 82 yards, and he has 2 touchdowns, 1 throwing, 1 rushing. Spencer Powell, 3 receptions for 28 yards and 1 touchdown. Jefferson has 170 yards of total offense. But unfortunately, if you're a Jefferson High School fan, the undisciplined trend continues. They have 10 penalties in the first half for 66 yards. For Washington, Rodrigo Delgado, the junior, has 11 rushes for 73 yards and 1 touchdown. They have 88 yards of total offense, so he has 73 out of 88 yards of total offense, which means that he's definitely going to need the supporting cast around him to be able to step up and help. And they have 1 penalty for 10 yards. And Sean, you have the scores from around the state?
Yep. We have number 1 Parkersburg South tied 7-7 with number 8 Princeton. Number 3 Huntington is leading number 2 Hurricane 14-7. Number 4 Martinsburg will play tomorrow against Bishop Ireton, Virginia. Number 5, Spring Valley is leading St. Albans 43-0 in the second quarter. Number 6, Bridgeport's leading number 8 from AA, Lincoln, 49-14 at halftime. Number 14, Woodrow Wilson is leading number 6, George Washington, 7-6 at halftime. Number 9, Musselman is leading Parkersburg, 35-13 at halftime. Number 10, Morgantown is leading Lindsley, 20-17 at halftime. Also number 10, Wheeling Park is leading John Marshall, 42-10, second quarter. Number 13, Cabell Midlands leading Riverside, 14-0. Number 15, University is leading Spring Mills, 14-7, halftime. And number 16, Hedgesville is leading Hampshire, 28-0 in the second quarter.
And that's a big game for the EPAC Hedgesville Eagles. If Hedgesville wins that game, they will be the 16th seed and will travel most likely to face number 1 Parkersburg South or the Huntington winner of Huntington and Hurricane. So that would be a good experience for their young team to be able to taste that playoff life. But the game that has shocked me the most is that Morgantown-Lindsley game. Lindsley has had some great competition playing Ohio schools, and they've played some schools in West Virginia, and they've handled them pretty well. So to have Morgantown compete with Lindsley, I thought Lindsley was going to be able to win that game pretty convincingly.
Morgantown, they're pretty tough. They're big and strong and like to run the football. Coach Beiser, who came from Kaiser, brought his system to Morgantown with better athletes, bigger athletes, and they've had success.
And those games are very important to Jefferson's seeding because if those games stand the way they are, Jefferson most likely stays in the same spot. That will put them maybe in a 12-5 game, as opposed to potentially moving up and playing in an 8-9 game or a 7-10 game.
Right.
So those scores will be something that we eye closely to be able to keep this Jefferson County community abreast of what is possible going forward. And I think that those ratings will come out Sunday.
Yes.
So teams will know on Sunday where they have to go. And the squib kick goes out of bounds. And I learned a lot at the middle school game the other day. Essentially in the NFL, when you kick the ball out of bounds, I think the ball comes to the 45-yard line.
40.
Well, the 40-yard line. So here, I think you only gain 5 or 10 yards. So it doesn't hurt as much when the ball goes out of bounds. So the ball just goes to the 40-yard, to the 40-yard line, correct? 41. So it's a 5-yard penalty.
And you don't kick the ball to Keyshawn or Isaiah.
Exactly. So it makes sense for Washington to be able to kick the ball out of bounds, and they don't take that risk. And you're only getting the ball at the 41-yard line anyway. You still have to travel 59 yards to get a touchdown. Now, the thing that I'm most interested in seeing, Sean, in the second half is if Jefferson is going to take advantage of this single coverage that Washington has.
A lot of confusion in Jefferson. Guys running off. Guys
and you have a touchdown. You have a timeout of halftime. And you definitely don't want to see that coming out of halftime.
They lined up well. Fritz was the 12th guy that ran off.
And they definitely didn't want Fritz to run off because he's one of those main receivers that even when they substitute the third or fourth receiver, Fritz and Powell seem to always stay on the field.
Right. That's more mistakes. That's another mistake. That's another mental error. It's got to be cleaned up.
And it hasn't been all season. And that's why I said, Sean, earlier, at a certain point, it does become who you are as a team. Some teams are able to overcome that identity, and some teams can't. But unfortunately, against better teams, most teams won't. So it will be a 1st and 10 Jefferson to start the third quarter. And you have two receivers to the right side. And you have Isaiah Fritz single on the left side. You have the power pistol with Wyatt Shively and Evan Toole behind him. And you see a reverse to Tayshawn Roper. And Roper is at the 50. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. He is at the 20. He's at the 10. And touchdown, Tayshawn Roper. And that's a 59-yard run by Tayshawn Roper. And it will start the third quarter off with Jefferson 27 and Washington 11.
And that's the explosiveness we've been talking about.
Yeah, and that's what Jefferson can do that that Washington hasn't shown the ability to do. Just quick strike, those quick explosive plays where Jefferson can score seconds. So the freshman, Jonathan Pineros, for the kick. It looks like Jefferson has a little bit more confusion.
Didn't have enough guys on the field.
And you have 6 seconds, 5 seconds. The ball is snapped. The kick is up. And it's no good.
No good.
See, and that's what happens when you're rushing.
When you rush.
And like you said, they have to clear this up because this is a younger team, but there's still enough juniors and seniors that, things you kind of have to be a little bit more crisp towards the end of the season.
And this is game 10. This isn't game 1 or 2 or 3. This is game 10.
Yeah.
Okay, I get holding penalties. Those things happen. Holding penalties, PIs, but lining up wrong, too many guys on the field, not enough guys on the field.
Yeah.
That's stuff that should be cleaned up by week 10.
Yeah. And that's what you don't want to see. You know, you want to see your team playing at the highest level going into the playoffs, not continuing to make the same mistakes. So the score is 27-11. Minutes and 46 seconds left in the third quarter. Jefferson with the 59-yard touchdown run by Tayshawn Roper scores in the first 14 seconds of the half. Nelly would kick the ball off to Washington. And Washington's offense was moving the ball pretty consistently towards the end of that half.
Yeah, pretty much the whole second quarter.
So he kicked the ball away from Delgado. Ooh. And he is smacked at the 26-yard line. Let's see if Jefferson's defense comes out with a higher level of physicality to stop this run. I see Coach Craig Hunter making some adjustments maybe to his style of defense that he's going to run this second half. Maybe putting in another extra lineman, taking out a cornerback or a safety, and it's running, you know, more of a thicker set. Some bigger bodies on the field.
Right. It looks like a 5-man line now. A 4-man line, 2 outside linebackers.
And a handoff to Rodrigo Delgado for a gain of 4. So it'll be a 2nd and 6 for Washington. And it's still a 4-yard gain right there. And like you said earlier, for Washington to stay on track, they need to gain 3-4 yards. Obviously 4 yards if you want to be able to get the first down on first, second, or third down. But even if you get 3 yards, that's still a first down with 2 yards to spare. 2nd and 6 at the 41-yard line. Washington once again lines up in a single wing with a wing back to the left. Inside handoff. And he is wrapped up after a gain of 2. And it will be a 3rd and 4 for Washington at the Washington 43-yard line. And what Jefferson has done is they've taken out a cornerback and put in another linebacker. And right now I don't see Nasir Jacobs out there.
No, don't. I'm looking for him on the sideline. I don't see him there either.
Inside handoff to Rodrigo Delgado, and he is stopped for a no gain. It'll be a 4th and 4. So Washington will be forced to punt. And what Washington can't afford is to come out, Jefferson to score quickly, and then Jefferson to start tacking on points. And there's Jacobs right there. He just tried it out from the locker room.
Another nice play up front by Bajent, number 53.
And Jefferson is continuing to scramble. And you would just think that these players would know that they're a part of the special teams unit.
I'm sure they practiced it all week.
And now you see Tyler Lee on the field. And the punt to Keyshawn Robinson. Robinson mishandles the ball. He cuts back, and he is tackled at the 47-yard line. And it'll be a 1st and 10 Jefferson at the 47-yard line.
And we could hear the Washington coaches upstairs. Jefferson had 12 guys on the field again.
And there's a penalty flag on the play. Now, if that is a 12-man on the field, it'll be a 1st down for Washington. But actually, it's a holding on Jefferson, so it'll take it back, spot foul.
Wow, they missed the 12 guys.
Yeah. So, unfortunately for the Washington faithful, that is a post-possession switch penalty. So, will not be able to benefit and keep the ball. But it was just now put Jefferson back at their own 38-yard line as opposed to being at the Washington 48-yard line. So we have 1st and 10 Cougars at the Jefferson 38-yard line. You see 2 receivers to the right, 1 single receiver to the left. You see Herrick in the backfield being flanked by 2 running backs. Evan Toole is 3 yards away from breaking Kenny Carr's record, and now it'll be an offsides on Washington. So the hard count, and it'll be a 1st and 5 for Washington.
Gave Washington a little of their own medicine.
And it seems like Robinson's hobbling a little bit.
Yeah, he keeps coming in and out, so maybe something is bothering him.
And I don't think he played a lot last week. So it'll be a 1st and 5. Herrick flanked by 2 running backs. The handoff to Tayshawn Roper. It'll be a no gain. And it'll be a 2nd and 5 from the Jefferson 44-yard line. Up Shelton to the left. And he sends Roper in motion. Oh. And he is down. And you would like to see Herrick make that pitch to Toole, but you know that's a smart play. Is you don't want to also compound a snap mistake and then make a bigger play, which actually would turn the ball over. So now it will be a 3rd and 15 for Jefferson from the 34-yard line, and Washington needs a big stop. Now let's see if Jefferson goes back to some of those pass concepts they had at the end of that first half, where they had the deep route and then Isaiah in the intermediate on that short flag. 2 receivers to both sides.
Washington's still playing the 1 high safety, so it's pretty much man across the board.
So Herrick gets to the outside. And an errant throw, and it'll be a 4th down for Jefferson, and Jefferson will be forced to punt, and that's big for Washington. Washington could not afford Jefferson to go down there and punch in for the 6.
Yeah, that's a big stop.
So with 7 minutes and 42 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, the score remains 27 Jefferson, 11 Washington. Now this last punt, Washington almost blocked it.
Very slow snap, and the punter took a long time to get it off.
Yes, he did. So it would be, and once again, is looking for someone to come out on a special teams unit.
2 guys.
And this is amazing.
They're going to have to burn another timeout. Or just take the
delay game.
Yeah, I would just take the penalty.
But this is amazing. Every special teams play so far, we've had people running in. So I don't know if it's due to injuries or players not paying attention on the sideline. But it'll be a loss of 5, so now it'll be 4th and 19.
Washington should good field position.
The punt returner is at the 44-yard line right now. So Washington could get the ball in Jefferson territory. Another high punt. The ball will bounce at the 44-yard line, and it is caught down at the 44 of Jefferson. It'll be a 20-yard penalty, but it looks like there's going to be a penalty on Washington. So there's going to be a penalty on Washington right now.
A lot of flags.
So we will wait to see what the officials call. So we do apologize for any moment of silence, but we don't want to speculate. We want to ensure that we are giving the viewers at home the proper information.
Didn't really see anything that caught my eye.
Yeah, and that punt was so short and
right.
The play seemed so fast. But they actually are pushing Washington back.
Still haven't seen a call.
So it's a holding on Washington, and there'll be a loss of 10 yards. So that now will be at the Jefferson 46-yard line.
And unsportsmanlike on Washington.
So that's a loss of 25 yards.
And there goes a good field. Just mental errors.
And that's on Brewster. And when we did the pressing game, we got one of those penalties as well. So the young man is very talented, but he has to just make sure that he maintains the discipline. Jefferson.
Number 14, JoJo Gregory.
And it is a 2-yard play.
Number 56, Jason. Hackman on the tackle.
Oh, they didn't throw the flag.
They didn't throw the flag.
Looked like Jefferson jumped.
Down, Patriots.
Jay, go to the 20.
So it would be a 2nd and 7 for Washington at the 35-yard line for a gain of 3. It would be a pass play.
Oh, he's
open. Wide open. And great defense.
Nice play.
By Bub Shelton. The ball hung up in just a little too long. Because he had about at least five yards.
Nice recovery by Shelton. Throw that ball out in front of him. It's a touchdown.
Put it more in line. He didn't need to put so much air under it. So it would be a 3rd and 7 for Washington. This is a big possession for Washington. You stopped Jefferson on the last possession. Your offense that needs a substantial amount of time to be able to score, they need to be able to get a touchdown on this possession. Single wing, they take the snap. Fake handoff for Ricky Lopez is stopped up after a gain of 2, and it'll be a 4th and 5.
Bajan again in there.
So definitely apologize for any technical difficulties.
Number 53. Little Agent on the stop.
Apologize for any technical difficulties on the broadcast. Washington will punt right now. It'll be a 4th and 5. We apologize for the skipping and the technical difficulties that we are having on the broadcast right now. We are trying to get those kinks worked out.
So first charge timeout of the half.
Another timeout. There wasn't enough men on the field.
Your score, Jefferson Cougars 27.
And Jefferson will only have 1 timeout left.
No, that Washington took that one.
Okay, so it's 2 timeouts for both teams. So they both burned a timeout due to not having individuals there on special teams. So with 5 minutes and 59 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, we've had Jefferson that scored the first 14 seconds of the half. And in the last 2 possessions, the defense has stood strong, stopped the opposing offense, and now it's a 4th and 5, and Washington will be forced to punt. Jefferson has to be smart here to not jump off sides, and they also have to be smart to ensure that Washington is not going to try to fake.
I would definitely try the hard count. Still maybe 5 yards. If they do, they'll probably go for it.
And it looks to me more like it's as opposed to a 4th and 6 that they have on the scoreboard at the stadium. So Jefferson has to be real smart and make sure they watch the ball. And you see somebody jumped, and we just knew. Actually, they called a false start on Washington.
Oh wow!
But even watching up here, all the broadcasters, the radios, and some of the coaches, we already knew what was about to happen. So like when that player, we thought it was an offsides, but it ended up being a false start for Washington. But it was just one of those things that as you get older and you start to be able to, have a little bit more of a cerebral mindset when playing a game, you kind of know what's coming. So Washington will get the punt off. A nice punt for Washington. And the ball will go down to 39-yard line. Jefferson will start at the 42-yard line. And that's what you want if you're Washington. You don't want to get the ball in the hands of Robinson or Isaiah Fritz.
Right. Make them drive. Make them drive. Make them drive the ball.
After that first punt, he's definitely been locked in. So it'll be a 1st and 10 for Jefferson at the 39-yard line. That's why I thought the ball went to the 39-yard line. They had it first at the 42, but that was a perfect punt.
Yep. Return.
So 2 receivers to the right, Evan Toole to his left. We're seeing Isaiah Fritz in motion. Hand off to Evan Toole. Evan Toole is met in the backfield for a loss of 3.
Handoff goes to number 3, Toole. Brought down to the backfield.
And they've actually become a little bit more stout against the run.
Yes, they have.
Brings up 2nd and long.
That's Chase Crutchley again.
So there's a loss of 5. So now Toole is 10 yards away from breaking the record for Kenny Carr. Well, 10 yards away from tying the record, 11 yards away from breaking the record. And after that first possession, you would have thought he would break it in the first half.
Washington's made some nice adjustments against Toole in the run game.
So you see 2 receivers to the right, same receiver to the left. Spencer Powell is one-on-one by himself. And they ran a quick screen.
Number 23.
And Spencer Powell gets bent back.
Taken down.
And he gets up gingerly, but it seems like he has luckily dodged a small bullet. But Washington's defense is definitely ready to play.
Right. Made some nice adjustments. They're tackling a lot better. They're not missing tackles. They're getting penetration.
So you have a 3rd and, was it 17?
14.
3rd and it's definitely more than 14 by the sticks. This is close to more like a 3rd and 17 with 4 minutes and 52 seconds left. And they'll pitch to Evan Toole. A great blocking. And there's a penalty flag. And there'll be a holding on the Jefferson Cougars.
Holding on the receiver outside on the cornerback.
Yeah, because it looked like a very well blocked play. And then towards the end, you've seen the referee call that penalty. Let's see if Washington will decline that or if they will try to push them back further. Washington declines that penalty. So he gains 10. So he's tied the record of Kenny Carr, but he is 1 yard short. So his next rush, unless he loses yards, he will break the all-time record for Jefferson High School football. The rushing title that's been held for what, 30 years?
Kenny Carr graduated in 91.
So 31 years. And this Jefferson special teams has definitely been out of sorts today.
I'm not understanding the confusion.
I mean, if you work on this in practice, you would assume that you know that you're on the punt team.
Right. If you're on the punt team all week, you're on the punt team on Friday night. So get out there.
Number 14, Georgia Grable. 1 man back to receive.
Oh, almost blocked again. Another short punt. Oh my God. The ball bounces back. Actually, I think he lost yards on the punt. He lost yards on the punt. It was a negative 15 yards on the punt.
-9.
So a -9 yards on the punt. And Washington will take over at the 28-yard line.
And again, not to beat a dead horse, but this is how you keep the underdog in the game. They score here.
And a flag on
offside.
Jefferson. And Jefferson is definitely right now seeming a little bit out of sorts. So it is 1st and 5 from the 23-yard line. And Washington is almost in the red zone. So with 3 minutes and 42 seconds left in the third quarter, we have a ball game. Washington comes out of the huddle. They line up in their patented single wing set. And it looks like it'll be a false start on Washington. So they gain 5 yards, then they lose 5 yards.
A lot of flags in this third quarter.
Repeat, 1st and 10.
So it'll be 1st and 10 again at the 28-yard line. Quarterback gets the play from Coach Simpson. Washington lines up in their patented single wing set. Carry to the quarterback, and he busts through for a gain of 5. Let's say a gain of 4, so it'll be 2nd and 6. And since their first touchdown to start the it's become more of a defensive game. So 2nd and 6. And that was actually the first time I've seen a little different formation from Washington. They didn't have the wing back. They had all their backs in the backfield. And they're going to that formation again.
A true power eye with 3 running backs.
And that is stuffed up. But when you do that, there's so many people condensed in the backfield that I get the concept, but there's any push into the backfield, the play is just stopped up.
Right.
And Washington can ill afford to not get 7 on this possession. Get the ball at the 28-yard line to start it. You're a rushing team. You base your identity off of being physical. You got to be able to punch it in right now. And to me, these next 2 carries are going to Delgado. This first one to Delgado. Strong run. And it'll be a 4th and 2.
Yeah, that's 4 yards right there.
Yeah, Delgado. It just seems like Delgado's at least going to get you 3 to 4 yards
every time. He just gets behind those big guys and just keeping his legs driving. And before you know it, he's got 4 or 5 yards.
And this is a big play for Jefferson right here. It's a big play for Washington. Let's see if Washington tries to use the hard count. Not only the hard count to get 5, but also the hard count to have you not in your most aggressive state.
Right.
So they can punch you in the mouth and get 4 or 5 yards. So it'll be a 4th and 2.
And Delgado's getting his ball again.
He has to get the ball.
Yes, sir.
It's a 1st down for Washington. And if I'm Washington, it's always going to be a steady dose of Rado Delgado. The counter, and it'll be a gain of 3. And it'll be 2nd and 7 from the 12-yard line. And to make this a 1-possession. And comes off the huddle. It'll be a single back in the backfield.
2 backs.
Ball to Rodrigo Delgado. And he cuts it up and gains 3 yards. So it'll be 3rd and 3.
Probably going to be the end of the
quarter. We come back for the 4th quarter.
Down at the 9-yard line.
So we're going to the 4th quarter. We'll take a quick commercial break. This is a key.
Cougars 27.
Can you hear me? Okay.
And we are back to begin the fourth quarter, where we have the Jefferson Cougars leading the Washington Patriots 27-11. We will have a 3rd and 4 for Washington at the 9-yard line. And you see that formation again with in the backfield. And Rodriguez Delgado. And it'll be a 1st and 10. Well, actually, a 1st and goal.
Same play.
And I run that same play again.
Quarterback power with Delgado. Run it till they stop.
It'll be 1st and 2. 1st and goal. And Rodrigo Delgado.
Things a little short.
Actually, he's short of the goal line.
Offside. Like a 3-inch penalty.
So it's a 3-inch penalty.
Can't be much more than that.
2nd and goal from the half-yard line. Ball to and he is in the end zone. And the score is 27-17, with Washington most likely for 2.
Yes, it is. Make it a 1-score game.
And if I'm Washington, I'm giving the ball number 3 again.
Yep. Stop it.
Ball Delgado. And Delgado did in. He was stopped short.
Nice play by 17, Wyatt Shively.
So it now becomes a 2-possession game. And the score is 27-17. Cougar on the field. Now we're going to score 27-17. Change of possession. We will take a quick commercial break. This is Akeem Holmes at Home Team Sports TV.
Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. Process is natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any question. In Berkeley County, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
We are back at Jefferson High School after Washington just punches it in to make the score 17 after their stop on a 2-point conversion. With 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter, we have a 10-point game. And the ball is kicked away, and it will be recovered at the 30 line. And Washington's kicker has been a big factor in this game. He's kicked the ball well on kickoffs, keep the ball in the hands of the dominant kickers. and he's punted the ball perfectly to be able to keep the ball in the hands of the dominant returners.
That was a perfect kickoff.
1 yard line. And it also gives your team a chance to be able to
right. See if Jefferson can establish Tool again. He's been a little since the first quarter.
And Tool is 1 yard away from breaking the record. I see them getting a heavy dose of Tool this time. The screen pass to Tool. He gets to the outside. And it'll be a gain of 15 yards.
And that's just a long handoff. Get the ball in your playmaker's hands. You see that in college every Saturday.
Yeah.
With these top teams, with these 5-star athletes. Get the ball to them in space. Make the defense tackle.
And the ball will be at the 48-yard line. To the right. Receiver to the left side. Deep pass by Herrick to Bub Shelton. Oh! And Shelton drops the ball. And these are perfectly placed balls by Dylan Herrick.
Yeah, his all tonight. You can't put these on him.
No. He's had some perfectly good passes that he's just not gotten the help from his receivers tonight. I think they're going to really go and have a strong week. Really didn't play their best.
Yeah. It's not going to be a fun film session with Coach Hunter.
And the quarterback looks over to the side, trips to the right, single receiver to the left. It'll be an inside handoff. Quick penetration and the ball is thrown out of bounds. And it'll be a 3rd and 10.
Washington's defense has really stepped up in this second half.
They put a lot of pressure on offense. And this is what rivalry games do. In rivalry games, you can throw the record. You throw the records out. These kids are playing everything they have in them. And this has been better games that we've been able to call all year.
This is it for Washington. So leave it all out there. Nothing left in the tank when you get done.
Dylan Herrick rolls out. Oh, he makes the pass, and the ball is almost picked off by Cameron Togans.
That was a dangerous pass.
And another year in the weight room and another year of growth for Cameron Togans. He's a 14-year-old. Another year in the weight room and another year. That is a pick 6. Don't throw that.
Yeah, you can't throw the ball outside late.
So it'll be a 1st and 10 for Jefferson at the Washington 9-yard line. Another screen to Isaiah Fritz and his speed, and he is tackled by Cameron Togans.
Nice play by Togans.
I'm very impressed.
Like you said, for a 14-year-old. Got a bright future.
He has a very bright future. He's changed his body. Cameron Togans was a lineman. If you've seen him in his years, and now he's one of the better free safeties in the area. So it'll be a 2nd and 2. They're sending Keyshawn Robinson in motion. Robinson gets the ball in space. He spins, and he is now tackled at the 18-yard line. So it'll be a Cougars in the red zone. And if you see that as well, Robinson injured the last couple of weeks. So it'll be 1st and 10 Jefferson at the 19-yard line. You see trips to the left. Shelton at the top, singled up. Motion to Isaiah Fritz. Great block by Toole. Fritz is tackled at the 13-yard line. What you guys want to do, then we'll get our playmakers in space, and now they've had a great drive.
Yep.
So it would be a 2nd and 5 from the 15-yard line. And it'd be a touchdown, Isaiah Fritz. He threaded the needle on that one.
That was a dime. That was a dime.
He threaded the needle on that one. That was a beautiful pass by Dylan Herrick. And touchdown Cougars.
He's been impressive tonight. Really has.
Yeah, Dylan Herrick, the sophomore, has played very well. And the score is 33-17. And this is big for Jefferson right here, because if Jefferson gets this extra point, it once again becomes, well, at this point in time, it'll become a three-score game.
Exactly. And Washington's not built to score 17 points in 8 minutes. And another guy running on the field late.
And this has been amazing. This special teams unit has been detrimental tonight.
Yeah, they've got to get this cleaned up. If you got to spend the whole day next week on just special teams, they got to get this cleaned up before playoffs. Any of the three phases can bite you.
So with 7 minutes and 58 seconds left in the fourth quarter, Jefferson leads 33-17. And Sean, unfortunately, Jefferson's special teams tonight has pretty much taken away a lot of momentum that they get after they score.
Yeah, it's been mistake after mistake on the special teams. They definitely got to get that cleaned up.
And a lot of it is you don't even have 11 players on the field every single time.
Like the most basic. 11 guys on the field.
If I'm on the sidelines right now, I'm calling everybody who's on special teams, hey, you're on punt, you're on kickoff, you're on extra points, you're on this. I just need you guys to know. Maybe I need to reiterate this again. But they've definitely squelched momentum consistently after points, not having enough people on the field.
Yeah, but you have to know that. You got to know what unit you're on.
And for some of these players, this is all you play.
Right. This isn't Pee Wee where the coaches are out there on the field. This is high school.
And he is met by Moses Talley.
Nice field by Moses.
And Moses is one of the leading tacklers in the area. And in his spot, DD quarterback, he's been very impressive as well.
Washington's huddling. Like I said, they're not built for multi-score comebacks. So they're just going to run their stuff and hope to pop one.
And they definitely apologize for the technical difficulties that we've experienced in the second half. We're trying to work real hard to get this fixed and corrected. But unfortunately right now, on the technical side, it seems like we're not getting a lot of cooperation. So I definitely apologize for some of the lack of quality on this broadcast tonight. So it will be a 1st and 10 for Washington at the 31-yard line with 6 minutes and 50 seconds left. Washington at the 31. They'll make that pass to the outside. And that's a play out. That's be a block in the back. It's a block in the back. And they took a play out of Jefferson's playbook by getting that running back out in space on that screen pass, but they made the key error. He didn't even need to touch him.
No, he was already past the guy, and the guy's back is to you. You see his number.
And
leave him alone.
And the only positive thing about that is a spot
foul. Right. So it'll still be a first down. You can hear the Washington coaches upstairs asking, what is he doing?
And the thing about it is what people gotta understand is this is the difference between winning and losing. You know, winning teams don't make these types of mistakes.
Not consistently, no.
And Washington has the line. You look at the linemen, you can tell the linemen in the gym, they're big, you know, they're physical. They just have to get the discipline and some other intangibles corrected, and Washington could be a problem going forward.
This is a tough offense to.
Ooh! That was a big hit by Chase Hageman and Moses Talley. You seen him stand up, but next thing you know,
hey, he was gone.
He was gone. He got smoked. So it'd be a 2nd and 5 for Washington. And like you said, Washington's not built to score a lot of points and fast, so they really have to try to muster some explosive plays. Another strong run by Delgado.
He's very impressive. I like Delgado.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the better backs that we've seen all season.
It doesn't seem to get tired. He's got a lot of carries.
And the thing about him, he's only a junior, so he's coming back next year. And his senior campaign is going to have a lot of exposure with it. So 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line, the 42-yard line of Washington. And the ball is snapped over the head of the quarterback, and he gets down on the ball, and that's the type of play that Washington cannot afford. That would be a loss of 13. So it'd be a 2nd and 23 from the 27-yard line. It's actually a loss of 15. 2nd and 25. So it'd be a 2nd and 25 for Washington.
A little bit of a spread from Washington. Really not
what they're built for.
Right now.
So it'll be a 3rd and 25. It's actually 3rd down. It's 3rd down. It's 3rd down. The scoreboard says 4th down, but it's actually 3rd down. They got a 1st down on the Rodrigo Delgado run. Then the first snap. Then the snap went over his head, which made it a 2nd and 25. Then that play right there. So this is actually 3rd and 25 right now. So 3rd down and 25 for Washington with trips to the left. Washington is in pass mode right now. He throws the ball deep. And you actually see 2 players slip.
Going to have a hold on Washington.
And that penalty be declined, obviously, and it'll be a 4th and 25, which right now you're only down 16. Most likely they'll punt.
Right. Yeah. Jefferson lineman got tackled.
Because if you go for it and Jefferson gets the ball at the 20, 27-yard line, the game pretty much essentially ends. So let's say Washington is going to send out their punt team. Washington's played a good game today.
They have.
This has been a good game.
They followed the recipe that we talked about in the pregame.
So with 4 minutes and 15 seconds left, we have Washington bring out their punt unit, and the punter has done really well too, of getting the ball away from the returners.
There's another one.
Takes a Cougar bounce.
And the ball will be at the 49-yard line. And if anyone plays Jefferson, this punter, this special teams for Washington would be the blueprint of what you would want your special teams to do to keep the ball away from Fritz and Keyshawn Robinson.
Absolutely. Make them drive the ball.
Number 3, Evan Toole is currently tied for the career record for rushing here at Jefferson High School.
So it'll be a 1st and 10 at the Jefferson 49-yard line with 4 minutes and 7 seconds left. They drop back to pass. He throws a bullet to Spencer Powell. It'll be a 2nd and 10 at the 49-yard line. You hear the Jefferson faithful telling them to run the ball because they want to see Evan Toole break the record.
Yeah, why are you throwing the ball up 16 with 4 minutes left? Anyway.
I think they're just working on stuff for the playoffs. You see 2 receivers to the right-hand side. 2 receivers to the left. They send a pitch to Evan Toole. And Evan Toole, 10-yard rush. And Evan Toole is your new Jefferson High School rushing leader. That's amazing.
Yes, it is.
Congratulations, Evan.
That's a great record to break.
Great record to break.
Kenny Carr is basically a Jefferson legend. A dear, dear friend of mine. I saw it firsthand. And I haven't seen a running back better.
Congratulations, Evan Toole.
But it's Evan's the record now. Great job.
And that also is that Evan has had a great career since his sophomore year. And that's how you break records. You break records by being consistently good over a duration of time. And he's been one of the better running backs that we've seen in a long time. Congratulations, Evan Toole. Now back to business. We have a Washington player down. Hopefully, all these players can walk away tonight healthy. With 3 minutes and 52 seconds left in the game, you definitely don't want to see these type of injuries. So we're going to go to a quick commercial break. This is Akeem Holmes and Sean Holmes from Home Team Sports TV. We're back. Jefferson will have the ball at the 39-yard line with 3 minutes and 43 seconds left in the game. If you just missed it, Evan Toole just broke the all-time leading rusher record for Jefferson High School. Short pitch to Isaiah Fritz. He cuts it back to the field. He goes to the other side of the field. He has a lot of open field. And he is down at the 10-yard line. A 30-yard game by Isaiah Fritz. And every time the ball gets in his hands, he just does something with it.
Right. Speed. Speed. Can't teach speed.
You can't teach that. He actually ran to one side of the field and totally cut back against the grain. And that Jefferson High School 200. It'll be a timeout for Washington, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. we're back. Jefferson will have the ball at the 10-yard line with 3 minutes and 5 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Dylan Herrick hands the ball to Evan Toole. Evan Toole up the middle. Touchdown, Evan Toole.
Only fit in, he gets the touchdown after breaking the record.
And that's his second touchdown of the night. Jefferson leads 49-17, and they're actually going for two. They're not sending out their special teams.
Evan got it going again in this fourth quarter after starting really fast in the first quarter. Kind of bottled him up in the second and third.
And I think that Coach Hunter used the passing game to be able to open it back up for him again. So a condensed twins on both sides, tight twins. And take a handoff to Dylan Herrick, and Herrick gets into the end zone. It is 41-17, Jefferson Cougars. So Jefferson is now leading by 24 points, and the game is well in hand. And now Jefferson can start to focus on next week. Obviously, a big emphasis is going to be on that special teams. The punt game, the punts have been pretty lackluster tonight. Obviously, the extra point, the special teams unit after the touchdowns have been lackluster tonight. So
just got to clean stuff up.
You think if Jefferson cleans stuff up next week, depending on the matchup? Most teams you don't really want to see someone with the type of playmakers that Jefferson has in the first round of the playoffs,
right?
Especially if you're a higher seed,
right?
If you're a 5 seed and you got to play against Jefferson with these type of playmakers, you don't typically expect that 5 seed game to be as stressful,
right?
As Jefferson can make it on for you.
Definitely got a ton of weapons, and that's going to open a lot of people's eyes. Whoever they play next week.
Yes, you got
to account for it.
You got a record-breaking running back. You got a quarterback that is definitely getting better, and you have 3 amazing weapons.
You got the sprint team at wide receiver.
That's a strong run by Washington. And you will have 2 minutes and 53 seconds left. Let's see if Washington can put together a good little drive right here. I've been highly impressed with Rodrigo Delgado tonight.
Any good momentum that you can carry into next year and this off season and this summer carries over.
So, Sean, you see any scores around the state that will have an impact on the local teams?
I see that number 8 Princeton is down to number 1 Parkersburg South now, 28-21. Huntington and Hurricane are tied. Let me see. George Washington is taking the lead against number 14 Woodrow, 19-10. Musselman 63, Parkersburg 27. Number 10 Morgantown's down to Lindsley, 31-20. Number 13 Cabell Midlands beating Riverside 14-0. 15 Universities beating Spring Mills, and Hedgesville still leads.
In that Lindsley game, when I was telling you about earlier, I definitely was shocked. And Lindsley's now kind of starting this off. Lindsley seems like a very talented team. I think it's a private school.
Private school, yeah. They're not in the WVSSAC.
And now you see Jefferson making some substitutions, putting some of the younger players in. I see number 18, Axel Martinez, out there.
Another play by number 12, Moses Talley. He's been all over the field.
Yeah, Moses has definitely played a very good linebacker this year. And Washington is really trying to make sure their players, get out here healthy. They're going to end their season at 2-8. And They have some players.
And they're young.
Yeah, they definitely are young.
So like I said, another summer in the weight room.
It's another summer in the weight room, but it's also another summer in, like, you already know you've experienced this high school level. You know what to expect. So going forward, you know what you need to do. You've seen the best. And at that point, now you know what you need to do to take your game to the next level.
Right. They've got the line. I don't know how many of these guys are back next year. They got a pretty stout offensive line. Yeah, and that's a start.
If they bring this line back next year, then with Delgado, they're definitely going to win more than 2 games next season. So it'll be a timeout, Washington, with 21.8 seconds left. The score is 41-17. So, Sean, who would be your pick for the player of the game tonight?
Oh, it's got to be Evan Toole.
Yeah.
Got to be. Had a great start. Like I said, balled him up a little bit, turned it back on in the fourth quarter, and broke a 30-year record. You don't do that every day. With, like I said before, Kenny Carr is a Jefferson Cougar legend.
He's definitely a legend. And he also gives back to the community. Kenny is one of the nicest people you ever meet. He's always very cordial, especially now when he meets, your children. So, to be able to break that record for Evan, that's definitely something special for him. Okay, we have 21.8 seconds left. 4th down and 8.
This will probably be the last play of the game.
And they will throw a pass. He is wide open. And once again, he continues to float the ball. It doesn't allow his receiver to get any chance to catch the ball or run after the catch.
Right. This is just not what they do. He's probably hasn't practiced throwing the ball 20, 30 yards, maybe minimal times all year. Probably hasn't thrown many in the game that far.
Yeah.
It's just not what they do. It's just not what they're built for. It's a nice play design, though.
Yeah, I mean, that play's been open. I think they've ran that play 3 times, and it's been open all 3 times.
Yep.
So as a pass interference would give Washington a 1st down. And this definitely could be the last play of the game. I don't think Washington has any more timeouts. So unless Washington gets a touchdown, this is most likely the last play of the game. And once again, we definitely apologize for technical difficulties.
One more flag before we go.
We definitely apologize for technical difficulties tonight. We'll definitely get that corrected going forward. So we definitely want to apologize as a Home Team Sports TV for some of the technical difficulties that we had tonight. So it is 1st and 15 at the midfield. And then we come back to pass again. Oh! The ball is picked off. And he's knocked out of bounds at the 20-yard line with 6.7 seconds left.
Who was that? Who got the pick?
Looks like that was
49?
49?
49? Stephen Cameron.
And that's definitely a blessed moment for him. If he wants to watch that film,
yes,
he can
sir.
go to Home Team Sports TV.
Yes, sir. He'll be waiting for that film session tomorrow.
So we should see victory formation right now. This is actually my favorite, but I don't get to see this much at the NFL level because the Redskins, we never get victory formation. We always have to make – oh, yeah, I forgot. The Washington Commanders. Yeah. We always have to make a big stop to be able to, get that victory. So the game ends. The cross-county rivalry ends with Jefferson 41, Washington 17, and the Jefferson High School Cougars will await their playoff fate going forward. We'll be back after a quick commercial break. Keem Holmes and Sean Holmes at Home Team Sports TV.
Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
This is Akeem Holmes from Home Team Sports TV, joined by my co-host Sean Holmes. We have Jefferson High School with the big victory, 41-17 over cross-county rival Washington. We apologize for the technical difficulties due to some internet issues at Jefferson High School. I know some people definitely said it was difficult to watch towards the end, so we did want to apologize and make sure we get that cleaned up going forward. So, Sean, our player of the game is going to be Evan Toole for Jefferson. Evan Toole had an amazing game, 2 touchdowns, breaks the all-time Cougar record. And for that and his performance, I think we both agree that Evan is the Washington versus Jefferson Week 11 player of the game.
Absolutely. When you break a 31-year-old record from, like I said, a Jefferson Cougar legend and Kenny Carr, you deserve player of the game.